Eva, Arejay, and B-Rock. It's Stop, Drop, and Talk.
I have nothing to say.
Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah! What's going on, guys? Good to see you. Hey, what's up? Hey, what's
going on?
Oh, sorry.
What are you doing?
What a beautiful mask you have there. Oh, sorry about that. I got that was on. What is going on, B-Rock and Eva? It's good to see you guys, man. It's good to see you all out there. Stop there. Welcome to episode 2 of season 2. My name is Arejay Hale, and of course, with me as always is the beautiful, the incredible, the talented, the multi-talented, the multifunctional, and the multi-extensive traveled Eva Steele, everybody.
Eva.
That's me. What's up, everybody? Like Arejay said, welcome to season 2, episode 2 of Stop, Drop, and Talk. And of course, we still have another host. We've got B-Rock in the house. And before we get started, B-Rock, you know you got to show me your shirt every week.
Yeah, I didn't show shirt, B-Rock. Show us your shirt.
I didn't go so goofy this time. I just wanted to go with Batman. I'm a big Bruce Wayne fan. So we're, like they said, this is episode 12. We are excited.
Episode 12?
So excited. Yeah, dude. That's season 2, episode 2 shit. We're episode 12.
It's episode 21. You know, at this point, it kind of feels like episode 12 now, right?
A little bit. Well, no, it sounds like feels like episode 21, honestly.
Oh my God, it feels like episode 100. That you all feel that way too, because it's just crazy. But we got a few good, cool little things to tell you. We have a YouTube page, hooray! And we have all of season 1 up on our YouTube page right now. You can go ahead and watch it, as well as the episode that we did last week with John Cooper is going to be up shortly. So make sure, if you didn't see that, or if anyone you know doesn't have a Facebook, you can send them a link to the YouTube video. It's pretty cool. So thank you.
I want to give a shout out to Arejay about that too. You've been kind of working your butt off with that stuff, buddy, man.
Hey, you know, do what we do, right?
Yeah.
I can't wait till one of us gets control of that soundboard when we finally all get to do this like together instead of remotely.
I think you'd break it. I'd probably use it. You'd break it. You'd be like,
honestly, it'd be great, because every time I hit a sound, your audio gets all messed up. So I gotta like try not to use it so much. So it's really
there's so much. People don't realize how much goes into this show, and we have this amazing producer, and I know we've brought him in a couple times here. His name is Dan Catullo, and for those of you that do not know, he just won an Emmy last night for a documentary he did. Yes.
Congratulations, Dan.
The documentary is called Breathe, Nolan, Breathe, and it is bringing awareness to college hazing.
What a great idea.
It's so awesome that he's doing these things to spread awareness, because it's really only going to help people by getting Nolan's story out there. Super proud of him. Super proud to have him a part of this project with us when he's out there winning Emmys.
Yeah. Yeah, and he wants to work with us, like this horse and pony show that we have here. What the hell?
Are we gonna bring him in or what? Can we?
Yeah, let's bring him in. Dan, are you here?
Hey,
Dan, how you doing?
Hey, our world-renowned producer, executive producer, and director.
Yeah, what's up, Dan?
Dan, so you find these documentary films that you can do to help spread awareness of things like this, and you're really good at it. Can you kind of tell us about this one? And you're on mute, so you might want to unmute there, buddy.
But my next documentary is on reading lips, so I thought you guys would.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
This one is a little different because I went to WVU, and this was about a tragedy that happened at West Virginia University. There was a kid named Nolan Birch who passed away there in 2014. We all knew what happened, in the community. It made a lot of national press. And what happened is I actually brought my family to West Virginia for a dedication of a building we had something to do with. And so my wife and my kids got to meet Gordon Gee, the president. So only a couple weeks after that, we're home in California, and my wife starts screaming, "Dan, come downstairs, hurry up, your friend Gordon's on TV." I'm like, what? So went downstairs, and Gordon was on Dateline. There was a Dateline episode about what happened to Nolan. I watched the Dateline episode. When I saw the full story, my heart just sunk, and I knew I had to do something. So I reached out to Gordon. I said, "Look, I want to come out to West Virginia. I want to talk to you guys about creating something to help make a difference. Let's use this to try to help save lives. This is a tragedy, but if we all work together,
for those people that don't know, explain what hazing is.
So hazing is it's actually a broader definition. You know, I used to think like hazing was only if someone, like forced, like waterboarded someone or forced them to drink something. But believe it or not, having any kind of control over someone where they do something against their will or they normally wouldn't do on their own is considered hazing. So I used to think before I got involved in this project that like even little forms of hazing, like go to the store and buy a pack of cigarettes or clean the house, I thought that was all okay. I didn't realize that it leads to bigger and more severe things. And
kind of snowballs out of control.
Yeah, as I started getting involved in this world, and now I'm doing a whole docu-series on hazing. Starting to realize how serious it is. It's pretty intense.
Is it only in fraternities, or is it also sororities, or just all around?
Some of the worst hazing incidents we're seeing, believe it or not, is with marching bands.
Oh, yeah.
We all know the military. Let's not even get into what the Navy SEALs and people go through. Police.
Oh my God.
Oh yeah, I couldn't imagine.
You have, all forms of sports. It really, there's all hazing is just very prevalent everywhere, and it seems to have gotten worse over the years, especially with social media.
Right.
There's a lot of keyboard warriors out there that really, it's also a form of bullying. But there's just staggering things that are showing up. But the most mind-boggling thing that I learned through this whole thing is just still today, even with all these deaths, they're averaging more than one a year. But lately, like last year, I think we had 6. No one has ever received a harsh jail sentence. In fact, there's a case right here in California right now. A kid named Noah Domingo died at UC Irvine a little over a year ago, and they're about to plea out these kids, and I think they're all getting probation. And so,
are you serious?
It's just it's utterly insane, and there still even hasn't even been a massive like civil penalty against anybody. I mean, the average settlement on these things is in the hundreds of thousands, whereas like if you guys were involved in a vehicular manslaughter case, your insurance company would pay millions out. So I think that a lot needs to change still. Hence why we're doing a follow-up now to Breathe, Know, and Breathe. We're in the middle of doing a massive docu-series where we're going into all this. It'll be 6 episodes.
That's
excellent. And since you've done this and it's bringing awareness, I've watched it many times. To my understanding, aren't some colleges having their students watch this as they come into orientation, stuff like that? Yeah,
so this project actually went viral. So WVU and I, what we did is we co-financed this and we co-produced it, and then we made it, we open sourced it. So when it came out in November, we premiered it at WVU, but then we put it out all over Facebook and the internet. Just on Facebook alone, I think we had 2 million views. But it's on YouTube, it's everywhere. But what we did is we allowed other universities to use this as a way to educate their kids and kind of end this. And so in addition to the film, we created a whole bystander awareness campaign. I did that with Anyone Collective, this guy Michael Fiore and his team. We actually created a full program now for WVU so they can show the film, and then they also can help educate people. So it's been way different than what I'm used to doing. I'm used to I'm like doing Foo Fighters at the Acropolis, and then on the side I happen to be doing hazing videos. So it's been a really interesting change for me.
But it's probably been super. It's probably been super rewarding to do something like this, though. You know what the coolest thing is? We know for a fact, it was verified by the Morgantown police, just at WVU, we know we've saved 3 lives with the film.
Wow.
Three different times. Yeah, so 3 different times there was 911 called for kids who have overdosed or drank too much. And all 3 times the people who called 911 said they did after watching Breathe, Know, and Breathe. So we know for sure that we've saved at least 3 lives.
See, you can make a difference in this world through art and through awareness, and that's such a noble cause of you. Thank you so much for doing that.
I'm glad that's our producer that's doing it, man. What a
and we're so honored to have you on board with us.
We're gonna save lives with Stop, Drop, and Talk too, right?
Yeah, we sure can. Why not?
So Dan, if I remember correctly, this is not your first Emmy, correct?
Well, it's my first Emmy for directing. The other Emmys I have, I was like an executive producer or involved with other films, but this one is the first one where I literally did everything, where I was the producer, the director. I mean, this was like my pet project. So this one actually means the most to me. This one, horrifically personal, but I actually did everything on this one. So this one actually meant the most to me. And we didn't think we were going to win yesterday. it's kind of bittersweet that we won on a year where it's a virtual ceremony and we're not actually there to get it. It was just
right, yeah.
But I meant a lot. The Birch family I've become very close to. TJ and Kim, Nolan's parents. I talk to them every day. We're working on another project together. We do a lot of Q&As and panels together. And they were crying yesterday. I mean, this is a big deal. Not only did it immortalize their son, and now we all know Nolan's name, but truly, this is going to propel the film to a whole nother level. So I'm really happy for them. Again, this one was done for them, and it meant a lot yesterday. We were all. Everybody was
on your Facebook. This one's for Nolan, right?
Yeah. That was crazy. I mean, I honestly because one of the guys we were up against is like the Rocky Balboa or the Mike Tyson of like the Emmys. This guy's won like 26 Emmys in like the past 15 years. Wow. And I'm like, oh, we're never gonna win. This guy's like had the magic touch, and I'm like, and his film was great. It was actually a film
intimidating at all. Huh?
It's not that, and it was done with the Cleveland Police Department, and it was a wonderful project. They had these kids who were victims of violent crimes, of gun crimes, and they taught them how to. The whole thing was about them using cameras. They taught them how to become photographers to overcome violence, and so it was a wonderful film and project. But like, I honestly didn't think we were going to win. Everybody was on a big group Zoom where we watched the Emmys live together, and I had to tape a acceptance speech like a month ago. So it was basically every nominee had to send their acceptance speech, and so I did it with TJ and Kim. I had a tuxedo top on, but my underwear on. I didn't have any pants. I didn't have my top, and I had to send it in.
Like a true
stop. Find out is if they announce your name and then they play your acceptance speech. So we were screaming so loud, we didn't even it was crazy. And it was a weird delay. And so it was interesting. So I mean,
I can definitely relate to you in 2013 when we won our Grammy. Like we were among.
You were in Europe. I was with you.
Yeah.
I think you were in Germany. I think we were in Munich together on the Alter Bridge tour, right?
when we found out, it was crazy. But I remember like afterwards, it was such a huge. And obviously, this is not your first Emmy, but how was the party? How was the celebration after you guys?
You know what I did? I drank. I had a couple. Believe it or not, I don't want to sound like a girl, but I had a couple Trulies, and then I went out back and we played cornhole with my wife and kids. And
cornhole champions.
I was in bed by 8:00 at night.
Woo!
So jet lagged from coming back from Dubai.
Oh my God.
I remember going to bed. Last thing I said to my wife is I was like, what a difference like 10 years makes, because like, back like, in the earlier part of my career, like 25 years ago, like when I was nominated for Grammys, we would just go out and party all night and go to the award show and all the after parties. I can't believe I just won an Emmy and I'm in bed by 8:00 at night.
It's a different world now. The post-COVID world, man. I mean, this shows how much, ladies and gentlemen, you need to realize how much of a superhero this guy is. Because he flew. How long was that flight from Dubai?
Well, from the time I left the hotel, by the time I got home was 26 hours. So.
Yeah, okay. So this guy, 26-hour flight, wins an Emmy, celebrates and rightfully so, and he's still right here to produce our little rinky-dink show. So thank you.
I have the bags to prove, though.
They're well earned, though, Dan. Those bags are well earned.
You earned every single one of them.
Absolutely.
We're proud of you.
I appreciate it. This is what I do for fun and passion. We have fun doing this. So
I love doing this with you guys, man. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Dan, so much for making this world a better place through your art.
Yes, thank you so much.
All right, guys. Have a good show, okay?
Okay, well, don't you go anywhere because we still need you to produce us. He may be gone, but he's still technically here. So
you guys are on your own.
I'm pretty damn excited to have him a part of this project.
Me
too,
man.
Our project, because he has all those other cool, amazing things going on, and this is still something that he wants to do with us. Why?
Because we're beautiful. We're
awesome. Yeah, cool. Because you know why? Because the money. There's so much money in Stop, Drop, and Talk, right?
I pay him in meatballs.
So much money.
So much money. And he gets 25% of that. So yeah.
Oh my God. So I'm excited to be back doing this. It's only episode 2 of season 2, but we're just going to keep rolling with the punches and having the best kind of fun. And I don't know if you guys know this, but it's time for some fucks given.
Woo!
Some people got many and others have none. We're all going crazy, so come and get one. It's some fucks given.
Woo!
I didn't
All
want
right,
to
what
dance
are
so
we-
much that time.
What are we? I think the best way to start Some Fucks Given is to talk about that new South Park episode that just
Oh
came out.
my
Did you guys watch
God.
it?
Yes, awesome.
I
I
actually
have
didn't
only
watch
seen
the
clips.
episode. I only watched the teaser.
Yeah, me too. I haven't seen the whole episode yet. B-Rock, you've seen it, haven't you?
No, I actually have not seen it. I've done a lot of research on it to know that this is the highest rating South Park episode in 7 years. I mean, that's saying
Wow.
something. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, because
So I'm definitely gonna have to watch the whole episode.
I'm okay. South Park is one of my favorites anyway. Like, I love that stupid humor.
All the way from basketball, right?
Yes,
Right,
yes.
right.
Trey Parker and Matt Stone. South Park, like, you cannot go wrong with South Park. And every time that something happens, they always make a parody of it. You know, so
It's pretty amazing that they were able to throw it together that quick with like everything that's recently going on. Like, if we can describe the teaser a little bit, basically in a nutshell, B-Rock, why don't you start out?
Well, basically, Randy starts out, and Arejay, I didn't see this. But
Best character ever.
He screws a bat, right?
Oh, yes,
that true how this starts?
He fucks a bat in China with Mickey Mouse. And he's
With
like,
Mickey Mouse, yeah.
And Mickey Mouse is like, what? You didn't quarantine when he came back? He's like, I never fucked a bat before, have you? I fucked plenty of bats. You know, it's just like, just incredible. Just
But then he
incredible.
comes back, into my understanding, he starts like this pandemic special, and the next scene is like his wife's in the car, and she's like, "Really, Randy? Really? Pandemic special?"
If my wife finds out about this, she's gonna be pissed.
oh my God. Well, you know,
Norton's
it's so
all like,
funny
"We're going
because
back to school. This is a prison."
Yeah, right.
like, none of the episodes that South Park does making fun of current events falls flat. They're all fucking hilarious. And this, of course, is no different. I am super excited to see it because, you know, with everything going on, like, don't you guys think that a little laughter kind of helps a little bit?
Yeah,
like stupid humor.
It definitely does, and I can see this is kind of a fun time because this is kind of like where I guess this is the first time since the pandemic that this is kind of like where like new shows are starting, new seasons, new like, you know, movies are coming out. It's kind of like the fall time. Like Borat 2 is coming out soon. I saw the trailer for that. Looks pretty interesting. Yeah, there it is.
I go to
I don't know how good-
America.
But the other cool thing is Saturday Night Live is back. And did you guys watch the latest Saturday Night Live?
I've been on the road.
Oh yeah, you've been on the road. Well,
I watched it and I cried. I
it-
laughed my ass off.
It
Oh my
was
God.
actually really funny. First of all, Chris Rock, love Chris Rock, definitely like one of my favorite comedians of all time. But the cold open about the debate was, I think, like just dead on with Jim Carrey as Joe Biden. Of course, Alec Baldwin. Like the two of them, I think, in my opinion, totally nailed it.
But how great is it to have Jim Carrey on SNL?
I know it's like
good
really
to see
cool.
him back, isn't it? It's so good.
It's so good to see him back.
That's something new they're doing is they're bringing in all these famous people to play all these iconic characters, you know?
Well, and have you noticed, we kind of discussed this a little bit, that SNL is not producing the huge movie stars like they used to.
Yeah. I mean, we don't have to get into this, but it's been rattling my brain all week. It's like, you know, back in the old days, Will Ferrell played George W. Bush, Dana Carvey played H.W. Bush, Daryl Hammond played Bill Clinton, and these were just regular cast members that didn't have anything. But now they're bringing in all these famous people, and it's funny. It's great. It's working.
It's working,
I wonder if that's hindering the other cast members' ability to branch out and build their own separate careers.
I'm sure they'd be a little sour about it. I know I would be.
I mean, there's a lot of talent. I mean, Kate McKinnon, right?
Yeah,
That's her name, right? Yeah. She's amazing. And I mean, like the Colin Jost, Michael Che, like they're brilliant. But yet that is an interesting thing. But you know, what was cool was old SNL cast member Maya Rudolph came back in to play Kamala Harris, and I think she nails it too.
Oh.
She is so good at that, and I love when they have her on as Kamala Harris. It's
is she from Wedding Crashers? Is that the same gal?
No. She well maybe, I don't know. She was in Bridesmaids.
That's what I meant. So
Yes.
sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, my God, sorry.
So
That's
good.
what I meant.
Also,
yeah.
Harry Styles makes a cameo. Hey, just let me adore you.
oh my Lord, I love
I'm
it.
a fan. I'm a fan. I love Harry Styles. Harry, come on our show, please.
I do like him. Yeah. I was not like a One Direction follower, but I really like him as a solo artist.
Yeah. I'm a fan. I don't know. I can't help it.
Dude, to get to that SNL debate though, I gotta say when Jim Carrey was playing Biden and he's like, I'm holding my bladder. Let's get at her. Like,
Yeah,
I
46
died, dude. It
started
was so
off.
funny. Yeah, he was so good. Oh, they're so good.
Oh, there's Harry Styles. Woo!
That is
Oh, yeah.
hilarious.
I'm a straight man, but if he said yes, I don't think I could say no.
Right.
That's too funny. We touched on that Borat thing, and B-Rock had a good question when we were all talking earlier about how does he not get recognized? How is he able to do this sequel?
Borat.
Right. And supposedly he actually comes and starts getting recognized. So he goes into this store and he's looking for a disguise. And the first thing he says is like, this guy's helping him. He's like, is this sex criminal? And it's Daniel Radcliffe, a Harry Potter costume.
Oh my
he's
God.
like, no, that's not sex criminal.
Well, that was my confusion when I first saw it. I didn't even see how they did it, but when I first saw that they were coming out with a sequel, I was like, how is that possible? He's such an iconic character. Everybody knows him.
Right. Yeah.
So crazy, man.
I've been actually talking like Borat all weekend.
Yeah, I
Ever
saw
since,
some comedian make the joke like, well, no matter who wins the election this year, we can all expect 4 more years of coworkers saying, my wife.
Yeah.
But
do you guys feel like they're kind of getting ballsy with that stuff with the South Park coming out and the Borat? Like, I don't know if I've seen that recently.
Listen,
like, it seems
we
like
live
they're
in a
like,
time of shock value.
which
That's
is good,
right.
but people get so offended and now they're just like,
I think this is
Get
their
offended.
way, but I think this is those creators' way of like sending out a big fuck you to all the big crybabies. And they're just like, just get over it. Get over
Yeah,
it. You don't have to
do
be
it,
so
tell you what.
sensitive. And it's not.
no,
whatever.
we all have to laugh about it. And I was thinking when I was watching that SNL sketch, I'm thinking like, wow, this skit was like, they wrote rehearsed this entire skit in only a few days because the debate was Tuesday and they aired on Saturday or whatever day that they record. But then I thought, you know what? I think we need to give the most credit to the 2 prominent writers of that SNL sketch, Donald Trump and Joe Biden, because SNL was basically just slightly embellishing what actually happened and just holding up a mirror to our real times. I think a lot of people are doing that now.
what
RJ,
a shit show that was. I tell you
no
what.
kidding. That was embarrassing. Also, RJ, I think that Saturday Night Live they do that on Saturdays live.
So it actually is. I wasn't sure if they did like a pre-tape or something.
I don't know. I mean, it used to be live, so I guess I don't know.
It's still live.
Okay, thank you, Dan. Dan comes in and corrects our misinformation. We don't want to spread that, you know.
I know.
It's a good point, right? I mean, it's just basically all they're doing is just showing everybody what's actually happening and putting a slightly funny twist on it.
We all gotta laugh.
We all gotta laugh.
Some of it is accurate though. Like when Baldwin's like, Chris Wallace is like, all right, here's the question, and Trump, you have 2 minutes. He's like, I'll take 10. Yeah. But it's true,
It's just so good. It's just like, I don't know how they're able to write that.
Comedic genius, man.
There's so much talent on Saturday Night Live, and it's like they should be. Well, I know Pete Davidson was in his movie, and it like didn't really blow up because of the COVID thing. And my other thing is that maybe because the entertainment industry is all kind of dominated by streaming, and it's just oversaturated. Maybe it's just harder for them to actually branch into other things because there's just so much out there.
Well, and a lot of those actors get typecasted too.
Yeah.
So it's a little harder to like. It would be really hard for me to see like Kristen Wiig in like a psychological thriller.
Right. Yeah.
I'd be like,
that's true.
Well, you know what I mean. Will Ferrell, all these guys weren't on Saturday Night Live that long, but I mean, even like Keaton Thompson has been on there for years and years and years and years, and never had a chance to break the movies. So I don't know how that works anymore. It's just
it's by choice.
I don't know, maybe. I mean, I have heard that Saturday Night Live is kind of run like a crazy hospital, like it's just chaos in the rain, like when miraculously they put it all together.
Also, sometimes what's the saying? They kind of kick him out of the nest. I'm going to go to Adam Sandler because he got fired from SNL, and look at what happened to him.
See, I did not know that.
Yeah, he got fired from SNL.
I did not know that. How about you learn something new every day on this show? How about that, ladies and gentlemen?
Who would have thunk we had an Adam Sandler, fact there?
But
go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was going to ask you guys. Did you guys actually watch the real debates that happened on Tuesday?
I did not. I was working and I was like, I don't have time for this. I'll get the highlights.
I watched about 15 minutes and I turned it off. I'm just like, this is so depressing. And thank God that SNL sketch came on because finally I had something to laugh about. And I think that's something very important. I think that we all just need to remember to take a minute and just laugh at what's going on. I think it's the only way for us to get through these times. So I think that I would like to just slip in a couple minutes of our weekly medicinal laughter.
Medicinal laughter. Medicinal laughter.
Music to my ears. Before we get started on our medicinal laughter, I just have to do one thing. All right, let's get this shitstorm on the road. Well, after this first presidential debate, I think we can all agree that Chris Wallace should win the award for hardest working second grade teacher of all time. Oh no, I hit not yet. See, the buttons are too close to each other. Anyway, when you think about it, it really doesn't matter who wins this election. In less than 4 years, the two of them are just going to be debating over who gets to hold the remote while Matlock is on at the nursing home. I half expect one of them just to throw a rotting herring in the other one's car. Remember that from Grumpy Old Men? Okay, that one was a stretch. Or maybe it would make more sense if they were in the balcony heckling Fozzie. Right? I mean, that's where we live in. Look, they're both old, okay? Biden's so old he calls the Old Testament the Testament. And Trump calls the Old Testament, what's that? Nonetheless, both candidates have been campaigning and selling merchandise. Some of the items I've seen include Biden pop sockets that say no malarkey on them, because he's so in touch with all those whippersnappers out there. While Trump is selling commemorative plates made of the finest china. Trump has been claiming that Biden is using performance-enhancing drugs. And if that's true, then they work just as good as my girlfriend's birth control pills. Because my girlfriend is now pregnant for this joke. And who would have thought you couldn't trust a birth control pill with a brand name, a trusty name like Tic Tac? Where the sperm comes running towards the egg and the pill's like Tic Tac, like a ping pong paddle, right? Okay, for those of you who forgot the whole point of this joke, I'm saying the drugs aren't working. Somebody get them the hard stuff. And also, Mom, don't worry, Emily's not pregnant. I'm just throwing her under the bus for the sake of comedy, like always, and I would expect the same from her. Now, how about some good news to raise our spirits, huh?
Yes,
Red Lobster. Red Lobster has a new Mountain Dew margarita called the Dewgarita. Upon learning this, the entire population of the U.S. country agreed. Now, America has officially been made great again. It happened. It finally happened. Here's something interesting I found out this week. The new Brooklyn, New York-based candle company, this company called Grizzly Candle, they have a candle scent called Hair, a hair-flavored candle. Or when lit, Joe Biden refers to it as extra crispy and delicious. Oh, I got you. You didn't even see it coming. I was so proud of that joke last week. I had to make another one. Here at Stop, Drop, and Talk, we're all about recycling, especially when it comes to jokes. No need to thank us. We're just here to save the planet. All right. And finally, comedian, podcaster, and host of the Old Fear Factor show, Joe Rogan said he'd be happy to host a presidential debate. When asked to describe how he would structure it, he said he wants to do it in 3 parts. First, he wants to get them both really high. Second, he wants to get them to discuss their healthcare plans while eating coagulated blood balls stuffed with turkey testicles. And third, he wants to strip them down to some MMA shorts, throw them in the octagon, and just let them go. The 2020 UFC-style debate, Dirty Grandpa Edition. Woo! I mean, why not? They did the 2016 debates WWE style. So, hey, no offense to pro wrestling, but man, it's looking like we just may have to fulfill our idiocracy prophecy. After all, at this rate, we might actually have a President Camacho in the near future. And that is your medicinal laughter for this week. It is time for us to go to Eva After Hours. Oh, yeah.
Oh, baby.
She puts her head down.
It's Eva After Hours.
God, you're making me uncomfortable, man.
I just was gonna say that. Brock, I was just gonna say that. I was like, that song makes me cringe, but it's so hilarious.
I want to thank Eva and B-Rock for putting up with me every week.
I love it. It is what it is. All right. So this week, we are talking about Eva After Hours. For those that are just tuning in, is We kind of do sex and relationship advice from the most unqualified person ever to probably do that, which is me. I have no qualifications to be giving anybody advice. But this week we're talking about long distance relationships. There are a ton of long distance relationship. There are 7 million couples. Yeah. In the US.
This segment is all about me. Sorry to say.
14 million couples. I'm sorry. 14 million couples that are defining themselves as having a long distance relationship.
And I am one of them.
You have a long distance relationship?
Well, normally, actually, that's a good point. Right now, I don't. This is the longest I have not been in a long distance relationship. It's very
okay. So Arejay,
surreal.
this is going to be a great topic for you, and feel free to chime in. But
I will.
Something that I have that I was like kind of thinking about is that it seems like yes, long distance relationships are very hard. Relationships in general are hard. Then you put distance between the two of you, and it gets even harder. This day and age with social media and with, Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, all that stuff, it's so hard to have a real conversation with most people, especially just with all of that going on. Now, with long distance relationships, they're saying that it's actually better for communication if you start your relationship off as long distance because you spend they spend an average of 8 hours a week on the phone or FaceTiming, which is
I can relate to that because every relationship like that has been for me, but especially my last one when Emily started and I started dating. The majority of our relationship was just texting back and calling for months until I was able to actually have time for us to see each other in person.
Yeah, which makes complete sense. It's just a lot of like picking each other's brains and getting to know each other's personalities, which you think like in the beginning is like actually really great. Because a lot of relationships. What's that?
Oh, sorry, you're breaking up a little bit. I was just gonna say after we started dating, I went ahead and took her to Paris for a week because we were about to start a Europe tour, and we have the option of going there early and just kind of hanging out for a few days. So we basically started dating and we went on a vacation. And I've heard a lot of people say that that's actually an interesting way to start a relationship because it kind of shows you who the person is, how they handle themselves on a trip. But at the same time, if things go bad, then you're stuck with them for a couple of days, and that can be rough.
Right. And so, most relationships, though, especially this day and age, not to make myself sound old, but a lot of relationships start based on sex instead of having the communication, Arejay, and instead of. And instead of really getting to know somebody, the relationship starts out as sex. And then then you kind of get to know each other a little bit. And like a lot of times it's like, you just decide you don't really like them once you get to know them, but too late. Cause you've already slept with them now at this point.
Yeah. You've come this far. Get it? You've come this far.
Then you can be friends with benefits, right? Come on for a little bit. That's not bad.
That's a really good point, though. You're right. That is so. I didn't even think about that. That is so crazy. But you're right. Like every relationship, unless, you're right. Like, also, this is the first time that I've met somebody using a dating app. I met Emily on Hinge, which is crazy to think nowadays that's like so normal. So, do you think that has something to do with the way that relationships are now, starting out by talking to each other rather than just meeting up at a bar and hooking up?
Yeah, I think that it's more beneficial. I don't know. It's hard to say. I guess it would depend.
Come on, you're an expert.
I told you, the most unqualified. I think that it depends on the person, really. But like, I think that so many relationships fail because they start, like meeting in a bar and then you have sex but you don't really know this person, but then all of a sudden you're dating and then it's like, well, then you get to know them and then you don't really like them.
Yeah, I feel like this is a hard one for me because I've been through this once, and I always feel like it hits a point where, okay, so me and this girl, we were doing like
doggy style,
different different app games like draw something and playing all these different games and then talking on the phone at night, and then all of a sudden it starts to slow down and you stop playing that game and then you stop talking every day. And then all of a sudden it's like a week goes by.
So interesting that you say that because long distance relationships, like roughly they say when you hit about the 4 to 5 month mark, that's when that all really starts to die. And then that's when you need the physicality of the relationship, because you've established a bond through conversation or games or what have you, like you said that you were doing. And then it gets to the point where it's like you need that physical interaction because intimacy is so important in a relationship. Brock with himself, it looks like.
I was just stretching my back.
He's very intimate with himself. Oh, yeah.
Very intimate.
That is a good call, and I think you're right. I think it was probably about like 5-6 months that we were talking, and we kind of talked on and off. And it's funny, like we matched when I was still just kind of going. I was just fresh out of a relationship, and I was like, I don't want to get back in one. So we stopped talking for a while, and then we kind of like after a few months, I was like, okay, I think I'm ready to start dating again, and we started talking again, and I was just like, oh wow, this is so crazy. But you're right, it took several months until we actually met. And the funny thing is that we didn't even recognize each other. We had met actually like over a year before. She played a character in one of our music videos, and we didn't even know, we didn't even recognize each other because we said 2 words to each other on the shoot, and then we found out later. So it's also, do you think it's also kind of cool having some kind of fun history with somebody like that, like an interesting story?
Yes, interesting stories, and I think I don't want to say abnormal, like unique ways of meeting or kicking off a relationship, I think are good keys too, because it's like, oh my gosh, we have the coolest story, check this out. Like, it's not saying that people that meet in a bar like don't have successful marriages or relationships or whatever, but it's such a cliche story. Oh, we met in a bar. We were both drunk out with our friends. We went home and we banged. Like,
no,
divorce.
No, but so like RJ, your story with Emily, that's actually super, super cool. But then you get to that point, like you said, that 4 or 5 month mark where you need that physical intimacy. Speaking of physical intimacy, I did a little research on this. The country that has the most sex in the world, according to Durex, that condom company, is Greece. Yes. And there's I'm sorry, what? It says 87.
Sorry, you broke up there for a second.
87% of people have sex at least 3 times a week in Greece.
Whoa! I know we're moving.
And then
You know why? You know why they have a lot of sex in Greece? 2 words.
Why?
John Stamos. That's right.
He's a national treasure. He's a national treasure there. But coming in second, it's not just Greece. Coming in second, I believe, is Brazil. Yeah,
Okay, that makes sense.
It goes Greece, Brazil, Russia, China. The US falls. You guys, the US falls at number 25 on the list of countries that have the most sex, like in that order. We're number 25, with the rate of 52% having sex once a week.
Wow.
That's sad. Yes. Isn't that super sad?
Especially during the pandemic.
Well, these numbers might be a
and
little
now people are
skewed now
reassessing their
pandemic.
relationships.
I know, right?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. I mean, it's got to be,
wish I had that
either really
problem.
good
Not
or
yet.
really bad for some couples. Yeah, right. Well, you have your dog.
Oh my God.
Oh God.
Yeah, but RJ, he's fixed, so it doesn't really...
So for those people listening, though, if you have experience with a long distance relationship or something to, chime in a little bit, give us a little bit of knowledge, drop it in the comments. We'll read it. We'll check it out.
We will.
Maybe we'll all learn something. Maybe other viewers will learn something if people are dropping that in the comments. And actually, by the way, if you guys are not already, be sure and hit that follow button. Go follow us on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Stop, Drop, and Talk podcast.
Smash that like button. Kill that subscribe button. If you care about stuff, if you care about the world right now, and if you care about supporting small little podcast businesses, then you like and subscribe or I'm coming to your house, damn it. That's right. I'm coming over.
Yes.
I can't promise that, so.
Promise that, huh? All right, you guys, is there someone at the door?
Is it time? Is it time for our little neighbor to come and stop, drop, and
Please answer that.
Who's at the door?
Who's at the door?
Looks like we got Zach Wood right now.
Wood! From Like a Storm, baby! the drummer extraordinaire. Look at
that!
him,
Look at
Zach.
that sexy
Woo!
individual right there, huh, man?
Dude, it's so good to see you, man. How you been?
I've been really good, thank you. It's really good to see you too. I just wanted to let you guys know, Kent's obviously supposed to be here, but he's having some Wi-Fi issues because he's in New Zealand.
Oh, that's okay.
And, we all know how
Live
far
show.
away that is. So
Yeah.
We tend to have those a little bit. So
yeah,
Did you send the carrier pigeon? Hopefully, it'll get to New Zealand in time.
it might take a year or two.
It's Kent,
Kent.
everybody! Kent
There he
Brooks,
is.
everybody! What's up,
Yo.
Kent? It's good to see you, man. We got the rhythm section
with
of
me.
Like a
Bear
Storm,
with me,
one of
guys.
the
I'm trying to figure out
most
the internet
badass
here.
new.
Sorry.
Oh, man.
she
That's
like
all good.
slams the door. Is that your girlfriend or
Bro,
wife? or-
great to see you guys.
Yeah, good to see you, man. What time is it over there in New Zealand?
You're too
Hey,
kind. You're
That's
too
great.
kind,
That's a
bro.
great time. I love that.
Hey,
time.
Ajay.
Hello.
Oh, dude, I was getting there to try and help me fix the internet.
That's okay. We're just glad to see your face, man. I love your hair.
I'm at the
It looks
mount.
good.
Do you remember Mount Maunganui, Ajay? I remember you posted a pic of climbing it when you were here on tour with Devil Skin.
I love that place. I call it God's
That's right.
giant cereal
Yes,
bowl.
guys.
And do you want to hear a difference between New Zealand and America? There's this giant, like, just grassy crater in the ground, not a single piece of trash inside of it.
What a
That's-
sweet
that-
man.
If it was America, it'd be full, like, somebody would be like, oh, like, done with my yoo-hoo,
Find, like,
throw the
Bush light cans. That's America.
Yeah, Bush.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be America. That's why I love New Zealand so much. I can't wait to get back there.
Once they open touring. So I heard, I've never gotten to see you guys live, and I heard that you guys have a didgeridoo in your set.
That's true. Yeah, Chris, he plays the didgeridoo probably for like half of our whole set list. He incorporates it somehow. And we even used to do a didgeridoo and drum.
Well, come on back, man. I mean, the borders open.
I think he's answering the question that I asked, like,
I think we have
3
a
minutes
really,
ago.
really big
Yeah.
delay.
Multiple.
It's just a long way away. Don't worry, Ken. We'll get you caught up. Don't you just love live shows? This is great. It's real. It's what happens.
This is
Yeah.
There's no bullshit.
10 minutes that he's behind.
Yeah, well, it's a long way away. The carrier pigeon has to bring all the stuff out. How's everything going in LA though? How are you? You're out in LA, right, Zach?
Yeah, I am. Are you out here in LA?
I'm gonna.
I
sorry, man.
still-
I'm gonna try and jump on a hotspot. Zach, do you want to take the questions? I'm gonna try and
Yeah.
turn my phone into a hotspot.
Okay. Yeah,
Good
Ken,
luck,
you do
Ken.
that. We'll
Best
we'll
of luck
bring you in
to
a little bit later. It's good to see you, Ken. Ken, everybody. He'll be back once he gets his internet fixed. I'm actually hovering over Los Angeles right now. Can't you see?
Yeah, I mean, I could tell. It looks like a pretty nice. It's a little
I'm
different.
Godzilla. No. I do have a place in Los Angeles still. I still have my house out there, but I also have a house in Nashville because those are like the two places I'm at most of the time.
Yeah.
But you guys are still dealing with the fires.
Yeah, we are actually. It's pretty smoky every day, and the air quality is pretty shit. But that's kind of LA even when there isn't fires, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess you're right. That's just Los Angeles for you.
Fog.
Don't drink the water.
Yeah.
Depends on where you live. You probably don't live in North Hollywood where I used to. You're probably in a little bit better area, huh?
I'm in the Valley area, like Ventura County, so it's a little bit better.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so you're not too far from me.
Yeah,
Well, we're practically neighbors.
Right.
exactly.
So Zach, I was gonna ask you. So you're 25, right?
Yeah,
is that-
that's
okay.
25 a month. Yeah.
So yeah, you're fairly young. Can you tell us about when you entered Like a Storm? Like, did you audition? How old were you? Because I heard you might have been pretty damn young.
Yeah, it's a funny story.
Handsome man.
For people who don't know, my dad is actually in the music industry, and he was a tour manager for probably like 20, 30 years, and he was tour managing Creed on their reunion tour in 2009. And Like a Storm was the opening band on that whole tour. And I went to visit him in Hershey Park, Pennsylvania, because he was on tour and I haven't seen him in a while. And I thought they were really cool looking. So I'm like, Dad, can you introduce me to that band? They look pretty cool. And so he did. And they we just kind of like hit it off right away and became friends. And my dad was always friendly with him and they became friends. And so we just stayed in touch. And every time they were in Los Angeles, they'd always come over the house and we'd always hang out and we'd jam their songs upstairs. And one day, like, you know, a couple years go by, I'm 19. I just graduated high school. Like 3 months after I graduated high school, they messaged me. They're like, hey, long time no see. Our drummer isn't able to do this tour. Would you be able to fill in? Because they knew I knew all the songs. And I was like, oh my God, I've never done anything like touring like that in my life. I was in a little local band in LA, but never like toured. Right. Yeah, and we did our first tour with Alter Bridge, but it was never supposed to be permanent. And we did like, I think 5 weeks in the US. And
wait. Your first tour was with Alter Bridge?
Yeah.
That's a pretty big step right there, man.
It was pretty awesome. And I've known those guys ever since I was like 9 years old. So being able to tour with them now is like this big full circle. It was awesome. And
oh yeah, look at him go! Woo! Look
Beautiful.
At oh yeah! Oh, look at that hair too. Man, you guys put on a badass live show, and I was really stoked when you got the gig because Zach, we've known each other from back when we were working with Howard and Mike Vodnikoff and making our first 2 records out there, and we got to know you and Steve and everybody, and I was so thrilled to hear that you got the gig with Like a Storm because we also go back with them because I had a little, you know, we always wanted to do a Like a Storm and Hailstorm tour and call it like the Weather Channel tour, you know.
Pretty good.
Kent, can you hear us? You drinking a White Claw?
Brother.
Yeah,
hey, look
at
that.
Back.
No, it's a New Zealand company's take on a Japanese beer, and it's awesome.
Oh, good, and it's like 10 o'clock in the morning there, so you're getting the day started right.
That's just confusing to me.
So it's like Foster's is the American take on Australian beer.
That makes sense. Taco Bell, authentic Mexican food, right?
Mm-hmm. But they did it for the Rugby World Cup that they had there. They did a special Tokyo beer, and we have that Tokyo connection. Arejay, you know something I was thinking the other day, man? We last year we saw you guys 3 different times.
Yes.
In Tokyo, we played, and then we saw you in London, in the UK at Download Festival, and then we saw you in Dallas when you guys most graciously came to the show we were doing with Wilson and Through Fire and Stitched Up Heart.
That's right.
Remember?
I know.
And then now it's like, look at this year, dude. We saw you in 3 different countries last year, and then look at this year.
How are you guys coping with the lack of touring right now? Because you guys are notorious road dogs.
Yeah, we hit it pretty hard. See, there's a photo verifying how notorious we are at road dogging it. That's Germany.
Road dogging it.
Oh my God, there's Dan Catullo, our producer, everybody.
Love that man. Polite applause for Dan Catullo.
Yeah, he's pretty cool. Hey, he just won an Emmy yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh, there's another picture of Dan with.
I know the 5th member.
Why is he so short? Look at how short he is in that picture.
He really looks like he fits right in with you guys too.
That's right. We're his backing band.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
He's down the front.
We have a viewer that is begging you guys to come back to Japan. Hiromi Sato says, "Come back to Japan."
Oh, we will. We definitely will.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's gonna be wild when this all opens up again and we get to go crazy again with all these live shows and the tours. And I'm sure it's gonna look a lot different, but I'm sure you guys are so ready to get back out there.
Hey, well, you know what I was going to tell you guys? On Saturday night, I went to a live show. They're actually doing live rock shows, like normal rock shows here in New Zealand.
Oh, yeah, because New Zealand actually knows what they're doing. You guys are better at us with a lot of things.
Well, they went hard with with COVID early and got rid of it. And so now life's pretty much normal here. And Arejay, it was a devil skin show.
Yes, I love Devilskin. I was just about to bring them up because it's so funny that when we tour, we're from America. When we tour other countries, it's amazing how little we know about what's going on in your with your government, with your current events and things that are going on. We're so self-absorbed with our own country, and there's so much chaos right now. But it seems that everybody else knows exactly what's going on with America, with our politics and everything. So I said the same thing with the Devilskin guys and said, "Oh, no worries, mate. You're just entertaining the world, you know." So so I'm curious, like, what's your opinion on the shit show that we call America nowadays?
You don't have to. Don't censor yourself.
I'm kidding.
Give it to us. Let us hear it.
Firstly, we sincerely love the US. I mean, we moved up to Canada with eyes on the US. You know, we wanted to, it was a dream to make a record in LA. It was a dream to tour around the US, which we've been so lucky to do so many times. I mean, it's hard because the US is way bigger, right? It's a country of 330 million people. So it's a much harder ship to turn around. If you're like, cool, we're going to suddenly shut the place down, it's much harder to do it with that many people. So it's unfair when people make those comparisons, I think.
Yeah, New Zealand, oh, sorry.
I mean, compare it to Europe, for example. The size of the US and Europe, you'd have about 20 different countries in the space of one. So, you know,
right. The New Zealand is about that same population of Vermont, I think, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ultimate United States of America question here, and Zach, you can chime in on this too. But Kent, I'd be interested in hearing this. Who's your favorite little rascal? This is really important.
Am I going to get in trouble if I ask what that even is?
I was gonna say,
I don't know.
B-Rock, does this question have any relevance to?
Yes, it does. It is the United States of America question. Who's your favorite little rascal? It has every sorts of relevance.
Alfalfa.
Anything? No?
Oh, I think I know what you mean. No comment on that.
No comment? Okay. It's a little random, but it makes sense. Come on.
I'm gonna have to Google that later.
You'll have to excuse my friend. He's a little slow.
It's a little slow.
The town is that way.
The town is that way.
I'm just worried it's code. Is it code for something, and we're going to implicate ourselves later by giving?
No, it's not. I just honestly want to know.
This is a gotcha show. It's going to be like,
yeah,
gotcha.
Exactly. Yeah.
We're the next TMZ, SDT.
No, so with touring, where is your favorite place to be when you're touring?
That's hard because I know Kent will probably have the same answer, but there's so many amazing places in the world. It's hard to just narrow it down to one. Like you have a place like Japan, which is like nowhere else in the world. And then you have a place like London, which is, in my opinion, one of the greatest cities in the world. And then it's just the hodgepodge. I don't think I can choose one. But I mean, Arejay, I'm sure you're the same. Like it's
Zach, do you pick up a little bit on the New Zealand accent while you're touring with these guys? Does it kind of leach into your vernacular?
I've definitely learned some New Zealand words I like to use a lot. So maybe.
Yeah, like fuckwit. Is fuckwit one of them?
I haven't heard that one.
Oh, maybe not. Maybe that's Australia. Maybe that's the other country we don't talk about. Oh no, we don't want to talk about.
Kent, you got to fill us in on what these terms are. What some fun New Zealand terms are.
Well, the funniest one, is that we're very liberal with what you Americans like to call the C word.
I love
Very
that
liberal.
word.
It's a term of endearment in New Zealand.
It is. It is, and it's also a compliment. I don't know if you can say it or not, but if somebody's a funny C word or a good C word, that's actually a compliment down here.
Oh wow, yeah. If you use that up here,
great.
Definitely not.
Well, so many women are offended by that word. I am must be one of the very few that are not offended by that word. It's actually one of my favorites, and I use it all the time.
Yeah, it's like a nice. It's a fun word to say. It just has a nice, round kind of chocolatey flavor.
It's probably one of my favorite curse words. It's fun.
Oh yeah. So you guys said that.
Especially if you add a word on the end of it. Like I usually say sea bag. Yeah, like bag.
Yeah, or burger.
Yeah. That's awesome. I'm gonna start doing that one too. That is so funny. That's my favorite thing. People from other countries or people that travel and tour a lot is finding out the shit they pick up along the way, like phrases. Because some of the
the other thing is, sorry, you go.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say another one was pissed. Down here, getting pissed means getting drunk. In Vancouver, at least anyway, in Canada, pissed was like somebody's pissed off. So we'd do a gig, and then we'd be telling somebody on Monday, we'd be like, fuck, man, I was so pissed after that show. And they'd be like, why?
What was wrong? What happened?
Did someone do
They do the same thing in England. England's the same way.
You're like, yeah, pissed.
Yeah.
Well, what about in England? Like here we wear we fanny packs. Well, fanny means vagina in England.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
A man wouldn't get caught dead in a fanny pack down here.
Oh, we're bringing them back right now. Oh, look at that. We got our A to Z of Kiwi
some
slang.
slang.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh,
No,
thank you,
I mean calling it a fanny. I mean, if a man calls that his fanny.
Dodgy. I like that. Well, isn't it really bad? So the UK like wanker, isn't that like fucker pretty much?
I think basically it is.
Like, I mean, I think that's a
Wanker.
if
Yeah,
you use that-
wanker.
if you use that term here, and we're in Rapid City, South Dakota, the Midwest. If you use that here, just brush it off and laugh. It'd be
Yeah,
hilarious.
people are like, whatever.
Yeah,
Nobody gets it.
Wanker. Yeah.
sounds like a
That's a
wiener
good
to
one,
me.
eh?
I don't know. That's just
Yeah.
what
Wanker.
I get out of it.
You know, speaking of the whole COVID thing, because obviously, you know, we are still struggling with it. We're still getting a lot of cases. What were some of the steps that you guys took in New Zealand to get you guys to where you are now? Because now you guys are kind of over it. You guys you're back to normal now, right?
Yeah. Well, I think so. They pretty much they've shut the borders, obviously, to anybody coming in who's not a New Zealand citizen. And then from there, any cases that they pick up at the border get put into 2-week quarantine at a hotel, and then they're tested there, and then they assess what happens with them, whether they've caught it or not. So they're pretty good on catching any new cases coming in. And then from there, there's this app that the government put out where everybody contact traces where they go. So if a case pops up in the community, then it notifies everybody, and everybody goes and gets tested, and then they can see the extent of how far that's spread. And then we went into a real strict lockdown. And in fact, we were actually on tour. The reason I'm here is we were here on tour when the country went into lockdown. I honestly think we might even have been the last tour in the world, rock tour, because it was the last country to go into lockdown. And then I'm pretty sure we were the last tour still going. And it was like we canceled a couple of days before the whole country went into lockdown.
Obviously, I mean, how did you got out really quick at that point then?
I actually was the first tour in 6 years I wasn't on. I had some duties I had to take care of back here in the States, some important stuff. So they actually had a friend of ours fill in for that tour because he actually already lives in New Zealand. So I didn't actually go to that one. So I'm sure that would have been a headache though.
Somebody was looking out for you for that one. Yeah.
We had to fly all the crew home, like within a day, just book all these flights, send everyone home, you know, tours on, now tours off, just instantly like that.
Yeah,
crazy, man.
That's crazy. What's the plan in the future now for Like a Storm? What are you guys doing now, and what can we look out for?
Well, thankfully, before we came to New Zealand, we went to Vegas, and Zach cut a whole record's worth of drums. So Zach's there, and the rest of the band, for people who don't know, is me and my two bros, and they're Kiwis as well. So they're living in Auckland. And so we're finishing the record here in New Zealand. We've got the drums and we're finishing the record. And
wow.
So, yeah,
awesome.
Man.
Yeah, I've seen them since February. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Man, it's so crazy. You guys are, your bandmates are so far away.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is. It's just been a crazy year, eh?
I'm sure everybody's just ready for this all to get back to normal. You know, I mean, we're all sick of this shit.
Yeah.
I'm over it. I'm ready for, here's the crazy thing. A lot of the country has shut down. A lot of states here have different mandates, and a lot of them are a lot more strict. Now, B-Rock and I live in South Dakota. There are none. Like, everything is open as normal. Some national chains that we have here do require masks for entering, but it's normal life here in South Dakota.
Yeah, I just went to Utah with a friend of mine. He's moving there, and I told him I'd help him. So we did a road trip from LA to Utah, and it's like being in a different world. I mean, it just doesn't even exist out there. There's just nothing. And then you come back here, and it's like you really realize it's a problem. But out there, it's just like you said. It's almost like it's not a thing.
So when you go out, Zach, I got to ask, because I lived in North Hollywood maybe. Gosh, what are we going on? Like 6 years now. Trader Joe's, man, my favorite store. So when you go into a Trader Joe's right now, what is your deal? Do you have to wear a mask? Do you have to stay 6 feet away? Are people really touchy? Like, what is it like in California?
It's actually, for the most part, it's taken really seriously out here. Like, you have to wait in line 6 feet apart. You have to gel your hands like right at the door before you even get in. And then you basically gel them again when you leave, and everyone's wearing masks. And it's actually, I feel really safe. I'm not worried about anything when I go out here.
Everyone's taking some
good.
pretty big
So,
precautions.
On that note,
It feels
I
that
was
way
in
here,
I was in Fargo yesterday up until like literally 20 minutes before we went on for this. I just gotten in the door, but we were out one night in Fargo, and there's this brand new awesome bar. It's packed. We walk in, nobody's wearing masks. Okay, cool, whatever. That's just how we do it up here, apparently. And within 10 minutes of being there, we're getting ready to order our first round of drinks. The security guard starts screaming, "Everybody pay your tabs and get out." And we were like, is it our clothes? Like, we're so confused. It's 11. So we're like, huh. And we're like, what is happening? And one of the security guards goes, somebody that's COVID positive just walked into the bar.
Uh-oh.
Whoa.
Like, why the fuck
Smartest
did you
idea
do
ever,
that?
huh? Gosh.
Oh, God.
I was like, awesome. This is great. But I think they were like on the other side of like where I was. But it's like, it's terrifying. That is terrifying.
It is. And I almost to the point now, I'm like, I don't know if you guys do this, but you like watch TV shows. Like I've been watching a lot of YouTube because I miss traveling. And I watch like videos of people walking through cities. I'm like, oh, they have their mask on. It's so weird. And you realize it's like from a year ago or whatever. But just so drilled in your brain now. Like that's weird when you see someone walking without a mask on YouTube.
Dude, like I think like once or twice I walked into a grocery store and I forgot to put my mask and my brain went, something's wrong, something's different, what's wrong? And then I put it on, I was like, there it is. There's that little face hug, my little face sweater. You know, where we live in.
We're never gonna get back to normal like that. It's crazy.
No, and I think also when people are sick after this, they're gonna wear masks. You know, if this all resolves itself, once people get sick, we're kind of going to turn into like a China or Japan where if you're sick, you do wear a mask.
That's the thing.
Which is
Zach,
fine.
you guys have been to Japan. You guys have been there, and you know that's part of their custom. When you feel sick, put a mask on, not to keep yourself from getting sick, but to keep others from getting sick. Like they just have this very considerate. They're very considerate.
It should be a thing. You know, it's just common courtesy at that point. You know,
and in general, like, I mean, you probably have this too, Arejay. Like somebody comes on your bus and it's day 2 of a 6-week tour, and they're like sniffing and coughing and shit, and you're like, cool, thanks, man. You know. Oh,
then if one person gets sick on tour, the entire tour gets sick. And when we've been there, we did a tour with Eric Church, and somebody got food poisoning. Maybe it was something bad in catering, but everybody had like the water shits. Everybody had like serious diarrhea. It was bad. Well, when one person gets it, like then we had to like literally quarantine the tour, and he just went up and did acoustic, and we were not in his camp, so we were able to do our show, get in, get out. We had to stay out of the venue. So I mean, it's happened on tour, and now it's just happening on a global scale. Yeah.
This is wild.
Hopefully things will get better. I hope that we take a few hints from New Zealand and we can get on your level, but we'll see.
Well, as I say, we're lucky here because it's an island and it's way smaller. So there's a few things that kind of go in the favor. But to the New Zealanders' credit, everyone did kind of take it seriously early on. And I think that really helped.
Yes, go New Zealanders! And we love your rugby team. Your rugby team is awesome.
God.
That was a real nib high football rules.
Football rules. That's so great, man. I'm so glad. I can't wait to get down there. I just love the people. I love the culture. I love the food. Zach, are you missing the food from New Zealand? Well, Zach, have you done a lot of tours in New Zealand with these guys?
I think I've been to New Zealand 3 times now with these guys. But here's the thing: is like I'm like the pickiest eater in the world. I'm 25 and I'm still eating mac and cheese and dinosaur chicken nuggets every day.
Hey,
not adventurous.
Nothing wrong with that, buddy. Nothing wrong with that.
In-N-Out Burger.
Exactly. Yeah.
You got that.
I get food like that. So
I'm going to be coming out to LA soon though, because my house in LA is my to short-term rent my house. I need to make that my main property on my ID. So I still have my California ID. So I'm going to be coming out there end of October, beginning of November. I'm mostly going out there because I want to vote in person. Yep. So when I get out there, I'll definitely have to hit you up.
Yeah, you have my number, so just text me when you're out here. Let's hang out.
I have Zach's number. I'm so
Another creepy moment from RJ, one of many.
Another creepy moment. There we go.
I'm sorry. Brock, you were 2 creepy moments into the show and RJ's 1. You're still at one up on him.
I only I asked who your favorite little rascal is, okay? I'm sorry. That's all that was.
That's like before his time.
I only said no comment because no matter what you say, you can't win. But people who know me probably know who my favorite rascal is.
It's got to be Alfalfa.
If it's the way, if I'm interpreting it the way I think it means, then
I don't think you are. It was literally just like the most random. We were so confused.
I'm Googling that. What the hell does that mean?
No. Well, let's start that, and then you guys we'll make them all mean something, and then you guys can ask every band who their favorite is, and we'll read into that something.
It's not that weird of a question. It honestly is not that
basically
weird
admitted
of a
something
question.
they didn't realize they'd admitted.
You know what? I'm gonna pull an audible here. I'm gonna do. I have an idea for stop drop shenanigan for a shenanigan real quick, and just if you guys don't like it, just say no, bad idea. But let's just
Stop, drop, shenanigans. Stop, drop, shenanigans. You'll never get me gold.
If you were a little rascal, what would be your name?
Oh Jesus!
God.
Okay, never mind. Never mind.
I'm like that is. I don't have
is
enough
this from
brain
Tommy
cells
Boy?
for that.
Wait. It's from Tommy Boy. It's from Chris Farley, right?
Richard, who's your favorite little rascal?
Yeah.
Now
All
that
right,
makes
all right,
way
moving
more
on,
sense.
Moving on. All right, let's
Moving
not
on.
even
Keep
go
it
there.
going.
We're just not a bad idea. We're skipping shenanigans this week. Sorry, folks. It's
No
out.
shenanigans. Not
Yes,
this week.
we're pulling the plug on shenanigans this week.
We sure are. We sure are.
I mean,
Well,
this whole
if-
show is one big shenanigan.
This one big shit show. Welcome to Stop, Drop, and
shitanigan.
Talk. Hey, we have
I'm
fun.
so
We
glad
make
you guys
it.
came on.
Yeah. Thank you guys so much for coming on the podcast with us tonight.
Dude, I can't wait to see
Anytime.
you guys. Can't
Thanks
wait
for
to see
having
you
us.
guys.
Yes. And I will
And
have to
you.
catch I gotta catch a show and see this didgeridoo thing. That like completely sets you apart. Who the fuck else puts a didgeridoo in their show? Nobody. Like,
You said you
Come
live
to
in
South Dakota.
South
Come
Dakota.
to South.
I also
Yeah.
remember at I think it was that download show. I remember we were doing press or something while you were playing, so I only caught like a little bit of your set, but I remember hearing from a distance your singer going, "Who wants to hear some didgeridoo?"
That's right. Yeah.
And it's like
Yeah.
I've never heard the word didgeridoo spoken like that, and you guys, I think, are probably the first to ever do that. So I have to applaud you for that.
Oh, that's amazing.
very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. It's been a pleasure.
It has its
I
Thanks
love
for
you
having us.
guys.
It was awesome.
Oh my God! And we got the rhythm section, man. We had a rhythm section
True.
show tonight. Giving the
Yeah.
rhythm section some love, right?
Yes.
That's right. Well, you guys
Get
are
looked
killing
over.
it. What's that?
So normally the rhythm section gets looked over in interviews, and we got the whole rhythm section, and that's awesome.
We don't
yeah.
matter, right?
Zach, Kent, love you guys. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you guys so
We
much.
love
for
you
being
guys
out
too.
there.
You guys.
Thank
Can't
you
wait
guys.
to
Stay safe.
Future like a
See you guys.
You too. We'll see you guys soon.
Bye.
Thank you again.
Oh,
Yes.
like a storm.
Oh, and we lost RJ.
Oh my God, we lost RJ again.
No,
Oh, here we
back,
go.
I'm
He's
back.
back.
I'm back.
Jesus
I'm back.
Christ, scared the shit out
What
of me.
happened? I
Popped
saw
up on the
white
right side
lights.
of my screen right there.
I
like
think I
a
know what Taylor
goddamn
was talking about
human.
last week about the bright lights, and I went towards
Oh.
it, and here I am.
Oh
Am
my
I dead?
God. B
You
Rock and
scared
I
the
are like,
shit out of me. Seriously, you popped on the. Oh, I don't even want to. Just
I
let's
stopped,
go.
dropped, and popped in tonight. I don't know.
you did. Yeah. So on that note,
All right.
you wanna take over for high notes here, RJ?
All right, I think that it's time that we end on a high note. But I mean, God, this was a great show. Again, like I'm really glad we had a rhythm section on tonight. Don't you guys think so?
Yeah, I think that was
Yes.
awesome.
Yeah, that was
so
pretty
cool.
cool.
Guys.
All right, well, thank you guys all for joining us for episode 2. B Rock and Eva, I love you. It's time that we end this show on a high note. And this high note this week is called America, the Reality Show. Because we're all in it. We're all in this big reality show. And you know what? I think I'm ready to renegotiate my contract. I feel like we should just walk away while we're hot, like Seinfeld. After watching the debate last week, we could call it the real elderly white men of Washington. I got to hand it to the writers, though, of this big reality show that we're all casted and starred in, but we're not getting paid or getting any vacation time. But the writers are really, really doing some crazy things. You know, it certainly was compelling. Like the coronavirus is spreading all over the country. The president says it's no big deal and keeps throwing rallies, and then he gets the virus. Actually, when you read it out loud, the storyline kind of has this predictable thing to it. I would have thrown in a few extra twists. Maybe some zombies or a giant meteor. Then again, if the show continues, they'll probably start incorporating those things. So we should definitely pull the plug before the writers start getting desperate, like what Lost should have done. Hey, at least we got aliens now, right? Hey, you know what? That's good. That's enough. Let's draw the line there, please. See, the show is losing its shock value. That's the problem. And we're all getting fatigued. I hate that politics is now in our face all the time and leached its way into our everyday lives. There's no escaping it anymore. And I think the one reason for that, and you could call it a positive one, is because we're seeing how much is affecting our everyday lives. The virus, the protests, the resurgence of racism, the riots and violence, people dying at the hands of those meant to serve and protect. Great examples and big waking up periods for all of us needing to be engaged and proactive. When we hold our ears and try to escape reality, reality comes tapping on our shoulder and says, "Miss me?" Man, politics used to just be politics and life was life. I picture the old days like a bunch of old people sitting around together, sipping on scotch, bickering about politics, but they would be together, disagreeing with decency. Now we fight like toddlers trying to think of the most witty insult, which usually comes out sounding like a preschool playground diss. And it's all become so symbiotic. It's hard to tell where politics ends and life begins. When football fans booed a moment before a Chiefs game to stand for equality, human rights, and unity, that wasn't politics, that was life. I heard people in videos saying like, "Boo, keep your politics out of my football." If they provided a moment for the military or victims of a hurricane, hell, I mean, after 9/11, you couldn't watch anything without seeing patriotism brought up, and rightfully so. You know, where were the assholes saying, "Keep your politics off my infomercial channel"? I already ordered my American flag exterior Patriot pack, all 6 orders. I just want to see Billy Mays. Rest in peace, Billy, and rest in peace, OxyClean. Everyone was on board for showing solidarity in that moment, but for some reason, when it comes, like right now, you slap the label of politics on what's going on right now. You know, post 9/11, we all agreed that terrorists need to go. Post World War II, we all agreed Nazis need to go. We eventually agreed, you know what? Maybe we should let the gays get married. And when it comes to racism, white supremacy, and oppression against Black and brown Americans, that's when people say, hold on, get your radical words off my lawn. Those football players did everything they could to make everyone happy. No disrespect the flag. Nobody took a knee during the anthem. They made a whole separate moment through the easiest softball ever lobbed at humanity to be to test everyone's decency. And yet again, to my non-surprise, another failure. God, we never learned, do we? Ignoring these public awareness lessons we all desperately need. Booing those little educational moments when people are paying attention and suppressing those trying to make change in a peaceful manner will eventually lead to violence. It'll lead to bad things. Putting down Kaepernick and ignoring him, packed the tube with powder. The George Floyd video lit the fuse, and boom, Minneapolis. After that moment, I saw liberal and conservative-minded people of all different races, religions, and backgrounds coming together, and I started feeling hopeful. I thought, we were all getting it. But after that game, there's history repeating itself, and the circle continues. And like I said last week, cable news, home echo chambers, and the internet tribal ideal porn is just packing that tube tighter and tighter. While editing season 1, though, I was reminded of the wise words our friend Mr. Direct said on our show. There's protesters out there trying to make a positive change, and then there's also looters and assholes trying to take advantage. And we can't just lump them all together and paint them with a broad brush. That's the easy and cowardly way out. That's not reality. Reality is complicated. Now, the powerful ones who want you to believe that protesters are the same as looters, vandalizers, Antifa, S13, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, Bernie Bros, whatever sounds the most scary, insert in here. And predict going to be a thing that's against their personal interest. It keeps you afraid, and it keeps us fighting with each other and controls thought to their favor. Now, if you ounce of passion, empathy for other human beings of different colors, sexual orientations, ethnicities, or gender identities, then you're radical? Like, wow, what a radical idea. I guess I'm pretty radical because I prefer when things are fair. And I prefer when we don't pick our teams and start flinging mud at each other. Here's a radical idea. I prefer when we all start agreeing with each other on what's right. We stand together on common ground, use objective thought to make sense among the nonsense, and sowing hope rather than hopelessness. And I much, much prefer our leaders and our information sources not to stoke fear and division among us, but just maybe instead help stoke equality, human rights, and unity. I'll tell you what they don't want, though. They don't want a country full of cognitive thinkers all come together and mind our country to benefit us, the people. When voter turnout goes up, their political leverage goes down. So you know what? That's what we got to do. Stand together, stand up to power, vote like our lives depend on it, because that's when things will change for the better for us. And like I said, America, this crazy, wacky reality series we've all been living in and starring in lately, we had a good run. Very captivating, but to be honest, it's really fallen off the rails, and it's time to restructure. Racist recharge, assholes feeling enabled, and presidential debates turning into episodes of Jerry Springer. Well, it's time to bring it to a close, and it's time to go from reality show back to reality. But first, get your asses to vote, exercise the right, make change for the so we can end this crazy reality series on a high note. Thank you. Thank you all for joining us. You guys are amazing. I love you guys. It's time to wrap this baby up.
Well put.
I want to
Good
thank
to see you guys.
the Like a Storm guys. I want to thank you, B-Rock. I want to thank you, Eva. I want to thank Dan Catullo. Congrats on your Emmy. Come back next week right here on Almost missed that one. Good night, everybody.
Thank you guys. See you next week.
See you guys. Awesome.
Woo!
Stop, drop, and talk.